which organized approximately 450 volunteers who have served more than 3,000 hours to help Houstonians clean up and recover from the Memorial Day flood. Therefore, I, Annise D. Parker, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proclaim June 24th, 2015 as Texas Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church Day. Neil?
This group was another just amazing display of Christian, I should say Judeo-Christian service, right? I mean, they just did incredible work. We're very honored to have Reverend Scott Moore here with us, who is the presiding authority from the Texas Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. Reverend Moore, thank you. Thank you for the great work you've done. You know, one of the things that we've done in organizing together is we've got a software platform that we kind of worked around the clock to implement, which is a collaborative kind of Craigslist approach towards helping volunteers to organize themselves in the event of a disaster, and we're refining that. But I was looking at the statistics in there, and the Methodist group had about 150 work orders, I believe, which I think was the largest number of any of the groups that had recorded activity there. So they did and are doing phenomenal work. And one of the things that we're trying to do collectively is to do the long-term work after the storm. We don't want people to be forgotten. So Reverend Moore, if you could say a few words, please.
It's my honor on behalf of our Bishop Janice Riegel Huey, to accept this proclamation. We appreciate you, Mayor, and members of the Council, for your commitment to working with the nonprofit sector, with NGOs, with the faith-based organizations. We are really looking forward to continuing our work as we move forward with these other groups. One of the wonderful things about United Methodism is our connectionalism, and as soon as we found out that we had damage in the area, we were on the phone with our pastors and with our folks in the area. Our pastors and members of their congregations were out the very next day in their rubber boots, going door to door, checking on their people and providing us the information we needed. And within days, if not just a few hours of us opening our center down at Westbury United Methodist Church, we had members of Bel Air Baptist Church, of Jewish Family Services, of LDS, civic and community organizations from Meyerland and from Westbury, and it immediately became not just a Methodist response. We were fortunate enough to have the infrastructure and the apparatus in place to facilitate, but it was really all of our partners that came on board immediately, as well as our volunteers on the ground who were going door to door. So we graciously accept this on their behalf.
Councilor Christie.
I'd like to thank, I don't think thank you is good enough and a proclamation is good enough, but maybe a biblical quote that whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. And I think that, like I told the other group, that God sees what you're doing, and we really appreciate it. And Paula Arnold, aren't you part of this? Why don't you come up here? She's a previous HISD school board member, and I think she's with this team, but again, and I told Neil this a while back, a week or two ago, that a true leader gives the credit to other people, and you gave the litany of churches and synagogues that were involved, and I just think that's a sign of true church leadership, and I appreciate what y'all do.
Councilor Boykins.
Thank you. Paula, it's good to see you again. Let me say, as a member of the United Methodist Church family myself, my pastor, Kirby John Caldwell at Windsor, jumped on this immediately the very next day. And I think I was sharing with you guys earlier how he was really pushing, and we don't do a lot of that, not just my church around, I'm talking around the city, pushing to pull together as one city, one unit when we have a crisis situation, the way everybody came together on this deal. And I was so excited to see it. And my colleague, Councilmember Green, spent a lot of time making certain we were informed about what was going on in his district in the Westbury area. And I give him a lot of credit for him being on top of what was going on in his district. But I want to thank you all in the past. I want to thank you for your leadership in pulling everybody together. Thank you so much. We're really and truly sorry it happened in that area, but it came together as one for the city of Houston. So thank you all for what you do.
Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pastor Taylor, thank you so much for allowing us to use the facilities at Westbury United Methodist Church. We really appreciate that. And then just the overall assistance and coordination of the response. You know, we definitely, when people would call our offices in District K asking for assistance or asking where to go, we always had somewhere to send them. And so that's important. It's in the community, it's right around the corner, and you guys were there, you stepped up, and we really appreciate you as a city, but we specifically appreciate you in my council district. So again, thank you so much for what you do.
Councilmember Stardick.
Once again, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all. As a native Houstonian, it makes me so proud to know that we have such great Houstonians that step up, not only from the faith-based organizations, but from everywhere, but especially from our churches. It makes me very proud. I can't tell you how much it means to me that y'all are all good neighbors in this world. Thank you.
Councilmember Pennington.
Thank you very much, Pastor Taylor, for giving us the description of what y'all did, providing the infrastructure and the organization for everything. I have noticed, just as a casual thing, I'm not a Methodist, but I'm driving around and going to events at Methodist churches. I noticed that y'all are really land people. Y'all always have great campuses, not only for your religious services, but for schools and for playgrounds, and to support activities like this. And so you're a great religious institution and a great community institution. And you enable others to do that as well by providing services like this and providing kids a place to play baseball. So thank you for what you contribute to our community.
Councilmember Laster.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thanks to each and every one of you, and thanks to NECHAMA who came before you. We're grateful in Southwest Houston. We particularly have St. Luke's Gethsemane campus there, and your sister organizations that work to help us transform both our social service corridor and the other parts of District J, and you played a pivotal role there and are playing a pivotal role. I'm reminded, council members, I think the words of John Wesley, if I'm not mistaken, something to the matter of do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. That's a wonderful phrase. I think we've captured it on all faiths today, and I'm proud of the work that you all do. Thank you.
Councilmember Cohen.
I too want to thank you. I think what's terribly important to remember is that you didn't just wake up the morning after the flood and reach out to the different groups to work with. You have worked closely with Beth Israel Synagogue, with Jewish Family Service, the Jewish Community Center over the years, and so you had all that in place, and that's really to your great credit. So I thank you very much for all you've done to establish that kind of relationship, and consequently you could wake up the next morning and start the ball rolling. So thank you all very much.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.